Good morning, everybody. Got your coffee? I got mine. Rest. Rest. This is your daily reminder to not get involved in the shenanigans of others. Rest. We got more than enough work over here. Okay? Anyway, before I get started, someone's parking ticket citation came to my house. I opened it up because I didn't even look at the name. I just saw City of Columbia on it. It looked weird. It was, I opened it up. It's someone's checking their citation. And I said, now, why would this come to my house? Out of all the houses in Columbia, why mine? Well, I put it in an envelope because I was going to send it on to them because I want someone to do it for me. Even though this person drives a Tesla, kind of tells me everything I need to know about them, but I'll still mail it. Anyway, turns out they missed a number. So the numbers were the same, but the street is different. So I Googled the street because I said, well, maybe the address is different because I was going to send it to the same street, just anyway. I said, so maybe that's what it was. And it was because there's nothing but houses on that street. That street doesn't even have the same address, the same number on it. So turns out they left a digit off and the digits were the same, but the street was different. I'll mail it. They still have plenty of time. They've got 30 days and they got the citation on like the 19th or something like that. So I'll mail it. Anyway, listen. Before I go any further, I'm tongue-tied this morning. Please forgive me, but we're not starting this video over. I want to say thank you so much to Tabitha Speaks Politics for supporting the platform. And to Sharon, thank you so much. And to my girl, Katina, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Every morning I hear from you, even if it's just some emojis. Katina gonna let you know she is in the building. Okay? Thank you, Katina. Thank you for just always being here. You guys are amazing. Thank you. So let's talk about it. You know who I'm loving right now? Messy Don Lemon. Woo! Don Lemon. I tell you, honey, them queens can get messy. Don Lemon told Megyn Kelly, mind your business, honey, because your husband is gay. Your husband is gay, and every time he in the room with my husband, he can't stop staring. Girl, worry about that instead of worrying about Joy Reid, okay? And then I was like, well, let me look up Megyn Kelly. Look what is her? Let's see who her husband is. I ain't trying to be funny, but he does look like he is in the community. He does. He looks like he is a part of that community. He does. My oldest friend is a closeted gay, by the way. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but he was closeted for his whole life. Back in the 70s and 80s, it wasn't okay to be out loud and gay. It wasn't. Our Generation X and higher, it was different. Millennials started breaking that glass ceiling, but fun fact, when my husband and I lived in Michigan, we lived up the street from the Michigan couple who took it all the way to the Supreme Court for gay couples to stop the ban on gay marriage in the state of Michigan. And obviously y'all see how that ended up, how that took off. This couple's name, I had to write their name down. The only one whose name I actually remember was Deborah. But it was April DeBoer. No, I thought her name was Deborah, but it was DeBoer. That's where I'm getting it from. But it was April DeBoer and Jane Rouse. And I remember them. They lived in a corner house. They probably still live there. Nice house, pretty big house. And I remember they had all these kids. And they seemed to be a very, very involved parents. I remember one of the kids was black. another one with special needs. I always kind of side-eye though, them a little bit with, that's just me as a Black person. I'm always going to side-eye transracial adoption because you have to. And you always, as a Black person, yeah, I am very, very, very big on minding my own business. But when it comes to Black kids, I'm going to always stray off that path every so often. And not to the point where I'm obnoxious or rude or disrespectful, but I'm just going to always be very mindful, because transracial adoption, that needs way more oversight than there actually is. And this is not me saying that white people are incapable of loving Black people. This is me as a Black person acknowledging the fact that most white people are racist. And most white people who adopt Black children do not do it because they want to be actual loving parents to that child. There are all kinds of motivating factors. The biggest one being virtue signaling. Look at me. I'm a good person. I'm a good white person. I adopted this poor little Black child that I've got doing all the cooking and cleaning. There's that kind of thing. So you have to be mindful. And if there's no oversight, then who's the oversight? The oversight is us Black people who care about Black children, right? If there's nothing untoward going on, then there's nothing untoward going on. But we should always be mindful of it, I feel. And that's just my feelings on it. And you can disagree, and I don't care. But that's how I feel about it. I'ma always feel like that's sus. I just am. But they seem to be good, loving parents. They did. But anyway, they challenged that. And I remember Channel 2 News was out there and, and going on about your business, doing yard work. You're going to see it driving around in the neighborhood. And, and we were rooting for them. We were. And when they won, it was amazing. I was so happy for them. I really, truly was thrilled for them. The thing about hateful people is that hateful people are always going to find a reason to be hateful. Even if everybody on the face of the planet were one color, hateful people are still going to find a reason to hate. So that means that not only is it going to be us Black people and other people of color, it's going to be gay people, it's going to be women, it's going to be children, it's going to be seniors, it's going to be the disabled. Hateful people are always going to find a reason to be hateful. That's who they are. And so that's why it's so important that when a community is being attacked, that we don't just sit back and be like, well, it ain't me, it ain't my problem. Because we have done this for so long, that's been the way of the world. That's why they're coming for all of us like they are. One group at a time. Because every group wanted to be a part of white supremacy. And as a part of a member of a marginalized group, part of when we deconstruct, it has to be in a way where we acknowledge the hardships and the trials and tribulations and the difficulties that other marginalized communities face. Because if we don't protect them, then we're up next. And that's what has happened. United we stand, divided we fall. And I don't care. Way down at the bottom of the people that get shitted on are Black queer people. And I think that that's why I'm such a strong advocate of that community. Because they are Black. And because I know that being a double minority myself, Black and a woman, I know the hell they're catching. Why would I give them more hell? Why would I not protect them if I'm in a room with them? Why would I not do that? How does that poem go? When they went after gay people, when they went after women, when they went after, I did nothing. And when they came after me, there was no one left to fight. Anyway, I say all that to say that there is a Republican representative by the name of Josh Snyder. I wonder if he's any relation to Rick Snyder. Rick Snyder used to be the governor in Michigan. And as a matter of fact, the lawsuit that went to the Supreme Court was DeBoer versus Snyder. It sure was. I just realized that. I just made that connection. I wonder. Let me look that up later on. So anyway, he's challenging and he's saying we're not Republicans if we allow this. It's been 10 years since this judgment. And, Christianity, they always, when they want to villainize something and demonize something, they always throw their Christian, faith into it. These demons amongst us. Be a good Christian and a good Republican. We can't have this. And mind you, when people go after gay people, I'm sorry, I don't care what nobody say. I feel like that is real sus. Because what do you care? What do you care what two consenting adults do? What do you care if two gay people get married? If they find each other, they love each other, they're happy, they're living their lives, and they're existing. What the fuck do you care? Unless you're jealous. Unless you're jealous that these are two people who are living their truth out loud and proud, still able to carve out a good life for themselves, make money, have a family, raise kids, love each other. And meanwhile, you stuck in a little closet where the people around you could never, as a man, you could never say something like, you know what? Just every once in a while, I just prefer a penis. Just say it. You'll feel better, I think. You'll probably feel better if you just live your life. I mean, isn't that why most racists are racist? They're jealous of black people. They are. You hate the thing that you are jealous and envious of. That has a lot to do with it too. When you see people living their authentic selves and being great and loving who they are and owning their truths, despite you and all that fucked up shit you feel about yourself, you feel away. You feel away. A lot of the times, hate is motivated by jealousy and envy. Jealousy and envy births hate. It really does. Care what nobody say. I remember, I had this friend that I used to work with. Real good looking guy too. I won't use names just in case anyone from my past life, is watching. But I remember this guy, he always went to the gym, so he had a real nice physique. Blonde, tan, blue-eyed, muscular, just a real good-looking guy. And we adored each other. We really did. We were always at the bar clowning and fooling. And we got close. We got so close to the point where, he would come to my house. I would go to his parents' house because he lived with his parents. And I knew his boyfriend and everything. I knew a couple of his boyfriends, but I knew his main one. And I loved him too. He was a great guy. And I remember that he had this uncle. The uncle was the husband of his mother's sister. So it wasn't even like his blood uncle. And he was so homophobic. And I mean, he would put him down every chance he got. And I think that's why he always invited me to those dinners with his parents and family, because they would never really do any of that in front of me, especially if his boyfriend was there. they were never doing it. I mean, they would make like little snide remarks. And whenever he did, rather, I would always look at his mother, because I have 2 sons. And my sons identify as straight, as heterosexual. But if they identified as homosexual, that's their business. I'm still going to love my child. And I still can't imagine me sitting at a table, because trust me when I tell you, I've had family members who have done it, and they did it one time, that would say something that was demeaning or disrespectful to my child, and I'ma just sit there. I'll be damned. I don't care if I agree with what was said. You ain't gonna say it because it ain't your place to say it. And if my child doesn't have what it takes to stand up for themselves in that moment, you can best believe I'm going to come in there and I'm going to cut you to the quick, because that's the kind of tongue I got. So I was always confused as to why she would just sit there and let that happen. And I remember one time I asked him, I said, does your uncle have the money? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, does your uncle have the money? Is your family dependent on him for money? And they were like, no. He says, he has a company and everything, and but both families were successful. And then that's when I got a clear picture. I never said it to him, but I was like, his parents agree. White Christians. They agree. They clearly have to agree to let their child be attacked in their own home like that, even if it's subtle. I remember this one time he called me. I was asleep. It was late at night, like 1 a.m, something like that. And he and I would go to the range a lot because we both own firearms, and that was one of the things that we liked to do. He always wanted to go out into the woods, but I would never do that because I'm black. And black people, we don't do that. We don't go out into the woods with white people, no matter how much we like you. We don't. Not those of us with common sense. We don't do that, especially when you got those kinds of people in your family, because if they hate gay people. So I'd never do that. We always would go to the range. But I remember he called me this one time, and he said he was going to kill himself. And I said, hold on, I'll be right there. And when I got to the house, he let me in. And I told him, give me the gun. He had a shotgun. And I unloaded it, and we sat there and we talked until I saw the sun. I noticed the sun was up, and it was morning. And I asked him, was he okay? And he said that he was. And I said, okay, I'm going to call later and check on you. And then I went on home. And they made him hate himself so much till he wanted to die. I suspect that uncle, because why else would you? Why else would you care? Why else would you care? Highly dysfunctional family that one was, but then I have no room to talk. Secure people who are secure with who they are, however they identify, whether it be gay, straight, black, white, kind, cruel. We don't go around making it our life's work to make other people feel insecure or to hate themselves. But as someone, and this is just the truth, who was in therapy for a long time, I went into therapy as someone who hated herself. The other people around me did their absolute best to make sure that I hated myself. They did. They wanted me to hate myself. And I understand it was because they hated themselves. No matter how much they pretended, they did. They hated themselves. And I remember I inflicted cruelty upon others when I hated myself. Go get some help. Figure out why it is you hate yourself to the degree where you project that shit onto other people in order to force them to hate themselves too. Go get you some help. The gays ain't did nothing to you. The trans people ain't did nothing to you. Black people ain't did nothing to you. Women ain't did nothing to you. Children ain't did shit to you. The elderly ain't did shit to you. The disabled ain't did shit to you. None of those people are your enemies. You are your enemy. You are what's standing in your own path to happiness. It's you, baby. Go get some help. With that being said, if you would like to donate or contribute to the platform, I will leave my Cash App, Venmo down in the comments. Y'all have a wonderful day. Do something nice for someone. Live your life and give other people the room to live their lives, because their life is theirs and your life is yours. Figure your shit out. That's a part of what this life is about. That's why we are here. Figure your shit out and stop trying to force that work on other people by damaging them and the way that they exist. Have a good one.